All right, welcome. So, my name is Danielle. Thank you so much for joining us today. Welcome to the 5-Star Options Trading Seminar. So, I'm going to go ahead and get started, but I do want to hear, where are you from? If you can just go ahead and type it into the chat and let me know. Always love to see where our traders are from. Dallas, Georgia, Toronto, Richmond, Virginia, Fresno, Los Angeles, Tucson, Chicago, Hayesville, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Florida. Oh, aloha from Hawaii, Western Kentucky. Awesome. Well, so nice to meet you. I am originally from Kansas City, Missouri, but I'm coming to you today from Woodinville, Washington. Hey there in Spokane. Awesome. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So, welcome to the 5-Star Options Trading Seminar. Today, you're going to hear a little bit about me, my story, about the trading strategy I use, and about the trading room that we have and where I work and present trading ideas every single day. So, let's go ahead and get started. So here's what you are going to learn today. It is how to become a successful options trader with a step-by-step formula. Before we start, I just want to go over a couple key points. If you have questions, go ahead and ask them in the chat. I will be able to see those. Or if you have questions after the fact, you can always email them to info@simplertrading.com. Make sure to silence your phone and close other browser windows and tabs and commit to taking action on what you learned today. If you get just one idea that transforms your trading results, then that will make our brief time together worthwhile. So, what is my mission here today? I want to help you. I didn't used to be a trader. And now I am. So, what are the 3 key points I'm going to try to help you with today? I want you to be able to take full advantage of options trades. I want to teach you how to follow a simple 5-star strategy. This is my strategy that I've come up with over the past 6 years, and I'm going to share a little bit of that with you today. I want to help you be consistently profitable by minimizing losses, limiting risk, and avoiding emotional trades. The strategy that I'm going to talk to you about, it is not emotional. It is going to be a simple formula that is mechanical in nature. And as a bonus, if you stay to the end, you're going to get a list of my top 20 5-star stocks. So what does that mean? Today we're going to be talking about my 5-star setup. What is that? Well, basically, it is the formula that I've put together over the past 6 years of, it really is just a combination of ideas that I've taken from different professionals in the industry and my mentors, put it together into one 5-star setup. So what does that mean? It basically means that I have a list of stocks that I trade over and over again for regular income. And at the end of the presentation, I am going to give you my list of my top 20 5-star stocks that has been updated for this week. So hopefully you'll find that helpful. But ideally, this is a formula, and this is a formula that can work if you've struggled in the past, if you're new to options, or if you're only trading part-time. It also works just for stocks. I personally like to trade options, but the analysis, it's done on the underlying stock chart, and you can use it for stocks as well if that's what you're interested in. So why can it work for different types of traders? Well, primarily, it is simple when it comes down to it. At the same time, it is powerful, and that's why it works for advanced traders as well. And why does it work? Well, it's the 5-star. It's the best of the best. It's the combination of all of the best that I have seen over the past couple of years. And that is why it is my bread and butter trade and setup. I don't know about you guys, but I love Jim Cramer. Does anybody else love Cramer? I don't know. I really enjoy his market analysis. And this quote just really resonated with me that he posted on Twitter. And one thing that he said was, don't listen to the naysayers because you can do it. You're capable of picking winning stocks, and it is possible to take control of your own financial destiny. So I know it's possible. We do it every day in our trading room, and that is what I'm going to try to do, is show you how to do that as well. So let's talk about losing traders. Why are some traders consistently profitable when over 85% lose? Well, there's 3 key reasons for that. Number 1, most traders do not follow a rule-based system. They don't have a trading plan. They just take trades here and there because they think it's a good idea. That is not what I do, and that's not what we do here at Simpler Trading. A lot of traders lose money because they gamble or make emotional trading decisions. Again, this is not gambling. This is not Las Vegas. This is a business, and we're here to make money. And to do that, we have to do that in a methodical fashion. The third thing is that they trade with the odds stacked against them. Well, how do you really know if you're doing that? That's clearly shown through your P&L. But one way that we try to avoid that is we stick with high probability setups that have an edge, where we have our odds with us instead of against us. So what is the key to not doing these 3 things? Well, you have to focus on strategies that are proven in real market conditions. So we're going to show you more of that today. Let's get into why most options traders fail. It's really, really important to recognize why people fail so that we can work on succeeding. It's also equally important to understand why certain setups fail. That's how we figure out the ones that work, right? So look at our 3 reasons why most traders fail. Number 1 is that too much of options training comes from fake experts. I don't know how many times I have been in a trading room where I have seen people trading with monopoly money. That is not real. That is not what we do at Simpler Trading. Every single one of us, myself included, we trade with our own money every single day in front of our traders. Number 2 is that slick marketers sell their unproven strategies and hypothetical results. The results that we have are not, they don't come from a computer simulation. They come from actual trades that we've taken. And then, the last one, traders following snake oil strategies that don't have a chance against Wall Street pros. Well, we're going to go through some of those examples, but like I said, they all come from real profits and real money and real trades, not from computer simulations. So let's talk about food for thought. If about 90% of traders lose money, and if they're making the same mistakes, it only makes sense that your odds of winning go up if you avoid those mistakes, right? And it also makes sense that you can identify those mistakes and stop making them. So that is what we're going to do today. My goal, to tip the odds massively in your favor. Today, I want to offer you a shortcut. It's a simple, powerful strategy and setup that has been refined for over 20 years. Over 20 years, what does that mean? Well, my primary mentor, John Carter, he is the creator of the primary portion of my strategy, which is the squeeze. Now, we'll get more into that later, but what is it? It is an amazing setup that all of the traders in our trading room use, and you are going to see more of it very quickly. But when it comes down to it, there are 5 components of a successful trading strategy. The very, very first one is going to be the setup. Does everybody know what a setup is in trading? So basically, the setup is the reason why you're getting into a trade. For every single trade that you have, you need to know what your setup is. Now, the proven trading strategy I'm referring to is the squeeze, created by our one and only John Carter. Like I said, we'll get into more of that later. But really, trading is not as complicated as you think. Really, it only needs these 5 components. You need a setup. You need a strategy to trade that. And in options trading, that could be a spread, it could be a long call, or you could just buy the stock. You need an entry point. You need to know how to identify your stop and your profit target. Really, this is so mechanical in nature, more than people realize. And it doesn't have to be as hard as people make it. So, why options, you ask? Why trade options? Why not trade stock? Well, let me tell you, you absolutely can trade stock with this strategy. And I do that from time to time. However, I trade options because I love the leverage involved. When used correctly, options leverage provides high potential reward with limited risk. Additionally, I like to focus on really short term aggressive trades. My capital risk per trade is typically always under $1,000. I mean, there's times where I'll go a little bit higher, a little bit lower, but for the most part, I'll put maybe $300 to $700 on a trade, something like that. And of course, I trade much smaller size than the most of the traders in our trading room. You'll see the other gentlemen trading much, much larger size, putting $20,000, $30,000 into a trade. For me, 300 to maybe about $1,000 max is about where I like to be. But that is what makes options so amazing, is that you can trade in a way that will fit your account size. So no matter how much money you have, you can make a position size that works for you. So why options? Well, I mean, once I discovered the nuances of options, I discovered that they're my favorite trading vehicle. Why? Because I can grow a small account rapidly. But like anything else, when used incorrectly, they can destroy an account. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, you're going to become a millionaire overnight, anything like that. No. In this industry, you absolutely need to get your education to make sure that you're doing things in the right way from the start in order to trade in a methodical fashion, protect your capital, and make sure that you're taking on risk, but also ensuring that you're doing that in an intelligent manner. So let's give an example. This example, let's just walk through it. So yes, the 1% is based on the percent of account size. So typically with options trading, I don't want to divert too much from what we're discussing, but yes, in options trading, we generally recommend between 2.5% to 5% of your account to be in any one given underlying at any time. So for example, if I'm trading Netflix and I'm very, very bullish and aggressive on it, maybe I'll stick with 5% of my account on that trade. Or if the market conditions aren't as favorable, or if I'm just a little bit more conservative leaning for whatever reason, I will go down to about 2.5% of my account per trade. So depending on what kind of account size you have, that will depend what kind of trades you want to take. And just, yeah, does that make sense? How many trade positions at a time? So for me, I will generally have about 6 or 7 trades at any given time. When I'm more maxed out, I'll do about 10 at a time. But it really depends on number one, the market condition. So, for example, right now, as you may have heard, there's a lot of volatility in the market, a lot of news-driven events every day. So I'm a little bit less leveraged right now than normal. In a trending market that is very, very strong, I will be much more leveraged. So that's another thing about options that I really like from a week-to-week basis. You can lower the amount of leverage you have, or you can up it as well. So let's talk about leverage for a minute. With options trading, you have leverage. So Google, obviously very well known name, it's trading at over $1,000 per share. If you wanted to buy 100 shares of that stock, it would cost you over 100 grand. So who has 100 grand to buy 100 shares of Google? Well, maybe you do, but, or maybe you don't. I don't. So I don't want to buy $100,000 of Google. However, if you wanted to buy one call option, you can do that for $2,900. Now, even with this is still a very high priced example. I prefer to trade stocks like PayPal, Microsoft, where I'm buying long calls for about $2.50 to about $8, which translates to 200, which translates in options from $250 to about $800 per contract. So that's how I like to trade, but honestly, it doesn't matter what size account you have. You can still use the strategy here, and you can still participate in the same move as if you were trading the stock. So that is the power of leverage. Consistent profits are definitely possible with options trading, and I will prove that. Let's dive into my 5-star setups and get ready to take notes, but you also will be getting the recording after the fact. So let's talk about the secret to options trading. Why does it work? Well, with limited risk and high reward plus precise timing, you can get your freedom. I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself and tell you a little bit about my story and how I got into options trading. So my name is Danielle Shay, and now I'm a strict technical analyst. I'm the director of options here at Simpler Trading, and I have a very strong emphasis in my trading and in my analysis with Fibonacci. So who out of you guys have heard of Fibonacci analysis? That's right. It's the golden ratio. So I love Fibonacci analysis. That is a very key part of what I do, and that is a key part of my 5-star setup as well. So my primary focus as a trader is trend following, directional strategies with options trading. What I look to do is I look to scour the whole market, and I look to identify the strongest trending areas of the market, and I like to trade those in an aggressively directional way. The thing about the market is that there's going to be a trend somewhere all the time, even in a downward market. And the thing is if you can find that trend, you can ride that like a wave. That is what I like to do. There's a lot of traders who like to do counter trend strategies or, low probability methods. For me, I honestly just think it's easier to just go with the waves of the trend. So, that is what I'm going to be showing you here today. Now I'm the director of options, and I am also a contributor to John Carter's 3rd edition of Mastering the Trade. I've been on Real Vision a couple times, and I share my live trading analysis every single day in our Simpler Options trading room, as well as my trade. So that's a little bit about me. But how did I get here? Most people look at me and they think, how did this girl end up being an options trader? Well, it's quite a funny story, and let me tell it to you. So what ended up happening, I used to be a teacher, actually, elementary school, and I had a situation where I left my fiance at the time, my son's father, and I ended up being a single mother to a newborn. I had no idea what I was going to do, left my job, left my home. I was in quite a predicament, and my dad said to me, I know what you can do. You can work from home, you can raise Leo, you don't have to put him in daycare. All you have to do is learn how to trade. He told me, I have been learning from this guy, John Carter. He multiplies money every single day, and I know if you put your mind to it, you can do that. So I thought he was insane, but being in the predicament that I was in, I didn't have much of a choice. So I started taking classes from John Carter. Now, why did I listen to my dad? Well, he's been a trader for 30 years, first of all. So I knew he knew what he was talking about. But also, I had a very, very strong drive to stay at home with my son. So I put my mind to it, and that is what I did. So let me be very clear. This was not an easy path. I went from being an elementary school teacher to entering this world of finance and math, and it was complicated in the beginning. So I don't want to make it seem like it was just easy from day one, because it wasn't. I lost money, I lost sleep. I thought about quitting a million times, but I did not. And I just kept working, kept moving forward. And then what happened? Well, after a while, after I was trading for quite a while, that's my son and I right there. And then that's John and I. Funny video we were making in the studio the other day. But after I was trading for a couple years, I ended up meeting John at one of the trading events that he was hosting in Las Vegas. And I told him my story. I told him that he saved my life. I used to be a single mom, and I didn't know what I was going to do. And now I'm a trader, and I used to be a teacher, and I would love to do some teaching work for him. And now I am here talking to you today, almost 6 years later. So that's how I ended up working for John. But I mean, he's the most amazing mentor that I have ever had. And now I'm here trying to do the same for you. So one thing that John had always said in his classes is, you don't need to know everything there is about the markets to make money. You just need one setup that works a high percentage of the time, and you need to execute that with precision. I know that's true because I lived it. I came to work for Simpler Trading, and now I'm so lucky that I get to work with traders every day who are just like me. Oh, awesome. You're a middle school math teacher? That's great. I used to teach math, English, and science for sixth graders. So anyways, that's a little bit about me. That is why I wanted my financial freedom. I know it's kind of a unique story, but I know that everyone I talk to generally has their own reason why they want financial freedom. So what is your why? Can you tell me why you're here, why you want to learn how to trade? Yeah, you want a system? Too sick to work a 9-to-5 job? Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Reach financial freedom? Absolutely. You want to supplement your meager teacher income? Oh, trust me, I know how that is. Retired, need income, and want to protect my nest egg. Yes, freedom, school loans to pay off. I want to buy a sailboat. Awesome, I love that. Perfect my fib retracements and extensions. Great reasons. I love it, and that was one of the things that my dad had told me was, no matter where you are, no matter what job you have, maybe you still want your job, maybe you don't, whatever. But the thing about trading is that you can do it from anywhere, and that's what's so glorious about it. So I love it. So anyways, why should you listen to me? I told you my story, and really the primary thing is that I am a teacher at heart. I love teaching. I'm so lucky. It's a shock to me that I ended up in this career, honestly. But I love teaching. I love trading, and that's what I do every single day in our chat room now. So here's just a couple of testimonials that we've got from some of our members, from some of the classes that I have taught over the past year. And I really appreciate when people get a lot out of my teaching, because it makes me feel good about what I'm doing, and I want to help people. So we already talked about some of the reasons that make people bad traders. Well, what can you do to be a good trader? Well, number one, create a concise watch list with immense research. Use your trading tools. So I have a specific list of trading tools that I use. And looking at the chart, being able to read the price action. This right here is technical analysis. Now, the trading it with precision, that primarily goes to, honestly, psychology. Entering, exiting at the right time, but that is coupled with your technical analysis and knowing when to get in and out. So what about the 5-star setup? I talked about this a little bit. I created the unique system designed to work even for newer traders with small accounts, and you're going to get an opportunity for that very soon. But really what is it is that I combined a mix of my favorite simpler trading strategies that I learned from our team of experts. I chose the best bang for my buck, high probability strategies designed for part-time traders with smaller accounts like myself. However, you can also use it with larger accounts as well. So this is a great question coming up right now. How long will you be in the black? Are you capable of living from your profits? Well, yes, at this point, yes, but it does take a little while. That goes exactly to the graphic that I'm coming up to right now. So as we know, trading isn't for everyone, and there are 3 parts. Always. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, from day one, it's going to be amazing, because it is hard in the beginning. But how do you get there? How do you get from part 1, part 2 to part 3? Well, we are trying to do everything we can here at Simpler to shorten that learning curve. Honestly, all that it is education, figuring out for yourself it's honestly education and figuring out what you're doing wrong and trying to do more of what you're doing the right way, so you can get from this point to here. Let me explain how I got from here to here, and maybe that'll help you out. So here is a common question. How can you go from not understanding anything about trading to becoming consistently profitable? Well, proven trading tools, knowing how to identify strong trends, being able to recognize high probability opportunities, and knowing how to clearly recognize when you really have something. That's the oomph. That's the oomph from the 5-star setup. So what are the components of a successful trade? We went over this a little bit earlier. A setup, you need to know when is the right time to get in. What kind of option strategy should we use with that setup? How do I consistently get the best price entry? What stop should I use to ensure that I don't lose the money I'm trading with? And then where is my profit target? So I know we've been talking for a while about the 5-star setup. What is it? Well, here it is for you. Here are the 5 stars. So number 1, the first most important component is the solid trend. Any chart that has a 5-star setup, it must have a solid trend. Now, there's different ways that I look at a trend and determine if it's solid or not, but that is the number 1 most important component right here. We talked a little bit about Fibonacci analysis, right? Excuse my drawing. That's not nice, but I'll try to do better on the next one. So Fibonacci analysis, primarily I use symmetry. What does symmetry mean? Well, the market never goes straight up or straight down, right? It moves kind of in a wave like this on a trending chart. We're already talking about a trending chart. So with Fibonacci analysis, we are able to measure the pullbacks within the trend. And typically on charts that are solid trending, you will see symmetrical pullbacks. So when you are able to draw symmetry on a chart, you can then identify a pullback with an edge that enables you to get into a trade at the lows, not at the highs. So the second key component of the 5-star setup is a chart that is maintaining symmetry. If you have a chart that is going like this, and then it does something like that, is that maintaining symmetry? No, that is not maintaining symmetry. This is maintaining symmetry. So that is an example of a chart that maintains or doesn't maintain symmetry. The third part is the squeeze. Who is familiar with the squeeze? Awesome. I can see several of you are familiar with the squeeze. So for those of you who are not familiar with the squeeze, this is a trading tool that we use in, yes, the TTM squeeze. That's correct, JD. So this is a trading tool that we use, and I have a couple chart examples coming up later, but this is going to be a trading tool that helps us identify when there is consolidation before a big breakout. So this is the point in time during the consolidation when the squeeze appears that we want to enter a trade before the breakout. So that is the third component of the 5-star. Number 4 is going to be our entry point. Now, this is very critical because if you are looking at a stock with a squeeze that already is trading up here, is that a high probability entry point? Absolutely not. This is our high probability entry point, not after it already made new highs. So for a ticker to be a 5-star chart or a 5-star setup, it must have an entry point with an edge. So number 5 is very, very critical. So this is the part that I got from learning from so many different minds. And this is the oomph. Okay, so all of these things, they're very important to have. Solid trend, it maintains symmetry, we have a squeeze, we have a good entry. This is your extra special. So we have different traders here from all different walks of life that have identified a high probability setup. Usually I look at this one as the fundamentals. So all of this is technical, right? These are all technical in nature. However, the oomph, the 5th star, comes from the fundamental backing. So if I have an underlying chart that has all of this criteria and additionally is identified from a source such as the Investor's Business Daily, who identifies very strong fundamental stocks, or if I have a ticker that has, for example, a run into earnings, that's one of my favorite setups to trade, that will give that ticker the 5th star, and that is going to be my highest probability setup. So really what the 5th star is it's a confluence with someone else or some other high probability setup, because this setup right here is high probability in and of itself. Then when you add confluence from somewhere else, you get like the double whammy. Does that make sense? So how do we go about finding a 5-star setup? Well, think about the thousands upon thousands of stocks you can trade. Where do you start? Let's get into that. Really, it's just about using your logic, looking for the strength in the overall market, couple that with technical analysis, and then play that through options. So what is this chart telling you? This is a chart of TD Ameritrade from earlier this year. This was one of my favorite 5-star setups to play all throughout last year. When I saw this, I just said, cha-ching, cha-ching. Why do I like it? Beautiful trend, awesome 5-star setup. Now, here are some examples of some of the trades that I like to do. So these are pretty cheap trades. I mean, my trade price on these was $225, $315. So that's $225 per contract or $315 per contract. And I, like to get a pretty nice percentage gains on those. So you can see that I got into those for $225, and this was currently trading at like $495. And these that I got into for $315 were trading at $605. So it's just an example of what a high probability 5-star setup can do for you. This was a setup primarily that allowed me to make about $10,000 on a $15,000 account in the first 3 weeks of January. It was a 5-star setup after 5-star setup after 5-star setup. Now, of course, we all know that January was a trending, perfect, solid month. And, that was the ripe and prime time for 5-star setups. That being said, there are still 5-star setups everywhere. It's a little bit trickier now with the volatility that we're seeing in the market, but that only makes it even more important to be able to identify them. So, how is this possible? Well, when it comes down to it, it's just about the leverage of options, a technical rule-based strategy, and methodical research. Like I already said, January 2018 was an incredible month, but there is always a directional chart somewhere. You just have to know how to find them. So how do I do that? Well, I always start with a sector. So within the S&Ps, you have a list of sectors, right? Discretionary, staples, energy, financials. Well, there are always going to be sectors that are stronger than the others. Always, 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 no matter what. So right now, for example, my favorites are actually consumer discretionary, which has some names like Netflix, Home Depot, Amazon. And then also healthcare is picking up right now, and technology. So as of right now, those are the ones I'm focused on. Those are the ones that I'm trading. And, you say, are having a hard time following because of the internet lag. Will there be an offline link? So you should be, are you having technical issues there? There should be a link sent to you at the end. Is anyone else having sound issues? Is it fixed now? Awesome. So most people are saying it's all right. No lag. Awesome. Thank you. You switched from Firefox to Chrome and it fixed it. That is a great point. Yeah, maybe try Chrome. All right. Thank you very much for the feedback. So anyways, I narrow it down. Now, this example was from last year because last year my favorite 5-star trades came from XLI and XLF. So the industrial sector was very, very strong. The industrial sector was very strong last year, and I had a lot of 5-star trades from Boeing, Triple M, Honeywell, Caterpillar, and Deere. You can go back and look at those charts from last year and see why they were 5-star charts. Beautiful trend, very, very nice. Of course, we know that this year after the tariff news hit, XLI is no good to trade. But I mean, with the 5-star setup, it doesn't matter. You just work to identify which one is the strong one. Like I was saying, right now it's XLY, XLK, and XLV. So that's an example from earlier on this year. Here's another example from Honeywell. I like to buy these cheaper priced calls, about $350 a piece, try to sell them for about $7. Here's another one, buying this one for about $222 a piece, selling those for $5. And of course, that adds up. So that's how I get from, hey, let's look at the overall sector and let's get down to a specific stock that has a 5-star setup and let's trade that in an aggressive way. So that's how I do it. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Honeywell fit the parameters for a 5-star setup because why? Well, here's a couple different things. I mean, you can see that it had a very solid trend. Here is my symmetry that I have drawn on this chart, which is part of what I teach, is how to identify symmetrical pullbacks in the marketplace to get an entry point with an edge. For those of you who aren't familiar with our squeeze, here it is. So you can see these red dots on this histogram. These identify moments of consolidation where price is about to take off. So what we're doing here is we're taking that trend, we're taking symmetry, which is in and of itself a high probability setup. We're adding that with a distinct moment in time with one of our trading tools. We're getting in on a pullback and we're using a high probability target to, get to the end, which is our profit. So that's one example on it. Here is another one. So last year, like I was saying, financial sector, there were so many good 5-star setups. We had American Express is one of my favorite tickers to trade last year. Now this year it has not traded well, and so I stopped trading it. It doesn't really matter if it changes. We just have to recognize when it changes, and we cross tickers off of our list when they do not fit our 5-star criteria any longer. So for this one, here's an example. Here was a squeeze, boom, squeeze, boom, squeeze, boom, squeeze, boom. Oh, there's one right here too. So the point of the 5-star is you do the same thing over and over again. You trade this one, you trade that one, you trade this one, you trade this one, you trade this one on the same charts. So remember, if you stick to the end, I'll give you a list of my current top 20 5-star charts. How long am I holding the options before selling? Not very long. Generally, I will hold them between about maybe 3 days and a week and a half. And I trade both weekly and monthly options. So I've already learned the hard way to trade. I made the mistakes, so you don't have to. Do you want me to show you? Well, here is the class. It was called Ready, Aim, Freedom. Why? I don't know. I thought it was a cool name at the time. My favorite indicator is called the Ready, Aim, Fire. So for those of you who aren't familiar with that, that's where it came from. So the Ready, Aim, Fire is the primary indicator that I use in addition to the squeeze. And freedom, because why? We're trying to get freedom, right? In the graph that's indicating the squeeze, what is the graph measuring? And yes, in a webinar mode, we actually, I can see your comments. It's mainly because, we have some crazy spammers sometimes, but I really appreciate all of your comments and collaboration. It's really awesome, and I can absolutely see what you're saying. So the squeeze indicator is showing, yes, we have momentum here. So this is the momentum. You see that blue going higher, that's rising momentum, and falling momentum. The red dots indicate consolidation before a big move is about to happen. So this is a primary tool that most of us use here at Simpler Trading, developed by my amazing mentor, John Carter. And this is the Ready, Aim, Fire that I was referring to that gives you entry and exit signals in combination with that squeeze. So you can see there's some entry signals there, entry signals with the squeeze. So the squeeze is actually a combination of Bollinger Bands, Keltner channels, and momentum. All right, so anyhow, getting back to the class, in the Ready, Aim, Freedom, this is a shortcut that I wish that I had. Ready, Aim, Freedom, in my Ready, Aim, Freedom class, this is a class that I taught earlier this year in March. It was like a 5-hour-long class on Saturday, coupled with 2 full live trading sessions. And during that class, I taught exactly how you can find the 5-star setups, what is the trend? How can you tell if it's trending? How do you read the squeeze? How can you do symmetry? And now, I'm trying to just kind of consolidate that. So trial and error, I have done it, believe me. Somebody asked me how long it took me. It took me about 2.5 years before I really was consistently making money, honestly. So I struggled. I know I struggled. And like I told you, when I first started trading, I didn't even know what bullish and bearish meant. So I was very green. It's not like I came into this having traded for years. I mean, I came into it from step one. And being a teacher, now I have gone back and I've looked at all those mistakes that I made and tried to put a really nice formula together, and this is it. So if you're serious about trading, well, normally my course costs $897, but the offer that we're giving today is that you get my course for free if you want to become an options gold member. So what does that mean? Well, first of all, you guys heard my story. I actually started out as a gold member. I was a trader in the trading room. I listened to the live trading analysis every single day. I took trades from the traders, and that is how I learned. It wasn't until I met the owner in Vegas and I ended up coming to work for this company, but I started out, just another one in the sea. So what do you get if you join the Options Gold Room? So here's a couple things. Number one, we have the live trading chat room. I love the live trading chat room. Of course, like I said, I loved it before I ever even worked here. I love being a part of it. We have an awesome trading community. There's generally about 1,000 members live, and in our trading chat room, you can actually communicate back and forth with the members, and you can communicate with us, the traders. We give trade alerts, and I give trade alerts on my 5-star setups all the time. We have premium videos that we distribute every single night where we have market analysis, and we give setups that are coming up, trades that we're in. We have trading room archives. So for example, if you are not able to join the trading room throughout the day, then you are able to watch those recordings back later. We also do member webinars. I personally love doing them because I used to be a teacher, so I like teaching small topics after hours. You can find a ton of my member webinars on the site. We have an app now. You can stream us while you're driving to work. We have Simpler Foundation, which is actually my baby, which is what I have created, and this is honestly the beginner area of simpler trading. So I've created that from my experiences, and we have notifications, simpler tech, and trade ideas. So when I first started trading, did you keep your options much less than $300? No, I've always kind of kept it around that area. I keep it around between like $300 and, like I said, $1,000. But on average, they're about $500 per options contract that I'll buy. And my other trading partners, which I will get to in a minute, they do trade larger size than I do. They're a little bit more aggressive than me. So that's one awesome part about our trading rooms, that we have a variety of different traders. And so if you say, oh, well, I don't want to buy an options contract for $300, I would rather, buy something for $1,500, something more expensive. We do have people that do that. I just primarily focus on the smaller price names. So here's John, for those of you who may know him. He's my main mentor, and he's just amazing. I don't even know how to explain what he does, but he just has an amazing knack for the markets. He can just look at a chart and just know where it's going. It's just phenomenal to be able to learn from him. And like I said, I mean, his was the first class that I ever taught, or that I ever was a part of. And he's the one that got me into trading with my dad. So John is in our trading room. He's our founder and CEO. Then we have Henry Gambell. So funny story, actually. John found Henry when Henry used to work for the Geek Squad 9, 10 years ago, something like that. And Henry was fixing John's computer, and he decided to teach him how to trade. So Henry is now our vice president and senior managing director. Henry is one of my primary mentors. He trades with the trend just like I do. And we are very, very similar in style. He's phenomenally calm, very good psychological expert, and just an awesome part of our trading room. So next we have Bruce Marshall. He is our income trading specialist. Now, Bruce is going to have a slightly different style than the directional style that John and Henry and I have. And this is going to be an income-based method. And he also does longer-term time frames. So John, Henry, and I will primarily stick with shorter-term trades. And when I say short-term, I mean, you know, maybe 3 days to a week and a half on average. And we will have some that go a little bit longer, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. Now, Bruce, on average, will stick with 3 weeks or more on his trades. And he does more of a neutral style type trading. So for those of you who like to have passive income instead of looking to identify directional moves, Bruce is your guy. So what else do we have in here? Well, we have trade alerts. So here's an example of some of our trade alerts that come through. Whenever one of us gets into a trade, we post it for all of our members to say, hey, this is what we're buying right now. And we also post it when we get out. We have nightly newsletters that are generally about 20, 25 minutes long, video style, that go over all of our trades, what we're doing. And, you know, you can see that in a video style. This is what we call our premium video. We also have trading room archives. So like I said before, if you miss a session, you can come check that out in the recording. Everything we do is everything we do is recorded. It's like the NSA around here. So you're always going to be able to catch a recording. The member webinars, like I mentioned earlier, I particularly love teaching those. We'll pick out a specific topic, for example, like how to trade earnings, and we'll create an after hours webinar that is separate from what we do during the live trading hours. Our Simpler Trading app is awesome. I like to go out to lunch and stream that on my phone. That way I still know what's going on in the trading room and the market, but yet I can get out of the office and I can enjoy a lunch. So Simpler Foundation, this is, like I said, this is what my main project at Simpler Trading. This is included with an Options Gold membership, which is pretty awesome. And this is the foundational membership. We have a ton of video content and helpful resources within here to help you get started as a trader. So what about technology? Now, that's always a question that comes up. So what do? Well, we have Simpler Tech. At Simpler Tech, our technology experts can help you get your charts set up, make sure everything's working right, and answer any of your technology questions so that technology is not in your way of success. Along with our membership, we also have trade ideas. So like I said before, we have trade ideas that, you know, come out with our trade alerts. We also produce a trade of the week, which is pretty awesome, that you can check out as a part of our membership. So as your membership, what comes with it? Well, 24/7 access to the members area. You get online access to our trading room every day the market's open, and you get access to 200 years of combined trading experience for less than $200. So what is the offer? Of course, everybody wants to know. And don't forget, I'm going to give you my 5-star watch list in like 2 minutes. So we're almost there. So what did we get at the end of this? Well, if you would like, you can lock in a $50 per month discount if you would like to become an Options Gold member today. So normally our Options membership is about $200. For this training, we are going to offer that for $147 per month. So what about my Ready Aim Freedom course? Well, there's 2 options here. If you would like to sign up for the options membership and pay your $147, then I am going to give you my Ready Aim Freedom course for free. Now, I know it's kind of crazy. The thing costs about $900, but you know, that's what we're doing here today. So if you would like to take advantage of that, I'm going to give you a way to do that in just a second. Let me see where that link is. Oh, here we go. So here's our link. And I'm going to give you my checklist as well. So let me go ahead and post that. Here's the link. So here you have two options. Like I said, you can get instant access to the gold membership for $7 a day. If you don't want the class, that's totally fine. You can just sign up for $7 a day for the options gold membership for a trial for $7. And, you know, you can cancel after a month if you don't like it, whatever. And, you know, just test it out. Or you can pay $147 and get my Ready Aim Freedom class as a bonus. So that is a huge, huge sale. We have never, ever offered anything like this. This is the first time we have ever offered my class for such a discount. But that's what it is. So if you would like to sign up for this offer, here is the link right here. It is simplertrading.com/option7. You see that link that I posted in the presenters post right there? And let me go ahead and get you my 5-star setup list. So you know what's awesome about this list? I'm going to go ahead and post it up in the presenters post. 5-star setup list. So this is a link that you are able to, click on and then download the list. How many months is the membership fee? So the membership fee is for however many months you are a member. So if you pay right now, for example, $147, then that gets you 1 month of a membership, and it will rebill if you do not cancel after 1 month. If you want to cancel it, you can go ahead and cancel it. You still have the class. You have the class forever. It's yours. It's in your account. Nothing's going to go away. But yeah, I mean, it's just, it's however long you want it to last. If you want to, once you lock in that rate of $147, that should be static right there. I mean, it's not going to change. What if you are a $7 gold options member right now? Do you have my class, JD? If you haven't purchased it, you wouldn't have it. So that's a unique situation. Why don't you go ahead and email me, Danielle@simplertrading.com. And what we can do is, I bet what the customer service team will say here is, if you are already a trial member, I'm betting that if you paid your first month, they would be more than happy to give you the class for free. So what kind of questions do you have? Do you have questions about my class? When is the class? So this is a pre-recorded class. The class has already been completed. It is a recording that covers about, let's see, so it was 5 hours of strategy. So what we like to do what we like to do during our classes is we have a strategy class on Saturdays on the weekend where we cover the strategy from top up to bottom down. And we tell you every single detail about this strategy. After that, we have a live paying portion. We have a live trading portion. And those are several hours where we use the strategy in the live market. So the class actually covered 5 hours of strategy, and then I think it was 8 hours of live trading. So it's quite a bit of time. So when you purchase the class, if you would like to purchase the class, then what you will get is an immediate download. If you stop paying the membership, what will happen? Well, what you need to do if you don't want to be a member any longer is you just need to email our customer service team to cancel your membership, and nothing will happen. You'll still have access to your Ready Aim Freedom class. And yeah, I mean, if you wanted to sign up again in the future, our price is normally $197. But right now we're offering it to lock it in at $147. So if you started right now and you wanted to get the $147 locked in price, this would be your locked in price. If you canceled your membership and you wanted to start again at a later date, then it would just be billing you at $197 a month. Does that make sense? All right. What other questions do we have? Is the Saturday strategy class available on demand? Yes, it is available on demand. So it is an e-learning module. So once you pay your $1.40, once you pay your $147, you would have instant access to that class. But we do not have the mentor access. Is that right? So if you choose either package, this package right here for $7, yes, that gets you access to our live trading room, but not the class. This option over here gives you the membership to the gold room. So yes, everything we talked about before, plus the class, and you lock in your gold room at a lower rate. When you started investing, how much did you start with? So normally my account's around $15,000 or so. Is it possible to put it on hold for 3 months, as I will be walking in Spain for 3 months in late September, and keep the 147 price? Oh, that sounds awesome, JD. I'm not 100% sure. I think that if you sign up for it now and you're already a member, I do think that it's possible to put your membership on hold for maybe a month or two. But we can absolutely check about that if you want to email me. I haven't gotten that specific question thus far, but I'm sure we could figure out something for a vacation type situation. Yes, talk to customer service. So you can absolutely call. Let's see, it's our phone number 512 266. All right. What are some other questions that I can help you with? Could a person make money to help pay for the cost of membership of your program? That is absolutely the goal here. So that is absolutely the goal. I can tell you that there is a slight learning curve. How long have you been trading or interested in trading? 2 weeks. Awesome. Hey, don't worry. Like I said, I was a very, very fresh beginner too. You can do it if you put your mind to it. For a long time, but haven't jumped in. Absolutely. So the thing is, remember I showed that graphic before, and I hate to dance around it because the fact of the matter is there is not one answer. It's not, oh, it takes you 6 months or it takes you 1 year or it takes you 3 years. There are people who never figure it out. There are people who figure it out right away. But I can tell you there are 3 stages. First, you lose money, but what do? We don't want to lose a lot of money, okay? We need to control our risk. We need to use setups that have an edge. We need to use solid strategies. The best way to not bleed it out in the beginning is to have education. Absolutely, hands down. And the best way that you can do that is just starting it off on the right foot. And that's what we're trying to do here at Simpler, is help people start out on the right foot so that learning curve is quicker, so that you can bypass that part in the very beginning where you lose money and get to the place where you're really making money. That's what we want to do here. I mean, nobody wants to lose money. So we want to help you get through that. But unfortunately, I can't tell you how long it's going to take because a lot of the time, it really just depends on you. Yeah, does that make sense? How much time do we have to think about the 147 offer? Well, save the link. Save the link for me. I would try to at least think about it today, tomorrow. If you don't want to do the 147, you can always try the $7 trial offer. And it just wouldn't come with the class, but you can absolutely always do a $7 trial offer. If it doesn't work for you, you can cancel anytime throughout the month with no additional charge. Yes, save the link. Did you get my 5-star setup list? Let me go over that. That's very important. So let's talk about this. So here is a list that I've shared with you. This is going to be the list of the top 20 5-star setups. So what is this list? Basically, it's a cheat sheet. So I go through the market every single day and I work to identify tickers that fit within my parameters, okay? So here is the cheat sheet list of 5-star charts. So what does a 5-star chart mean? It means that it fits all of the criteria that I have listed within those 5 stars, okay? However, that doesn't mean it's good for entry right now. All of these charts are charts like I explained before, like American Express last year, like Lululemon, or like Honeywell, that are solid, trending, higher stocks with a solid fundamental backing that I want to buy at every pullback, okay? That doesn't mean that you just take this list tomorrow and buy every single one of them and hope that you make money on it. That's not the goal. The goal is that you create a watch list with these stocks, and when they pull back with the parameters that I list in my class, then you are able to get on them at the right point in time where you have an edge. No healthcare companies. So I'd be happy to review any of the healthcare companies. The thing is with most of the healthcare companies, because they have not been trending very well the majority of this year, a lot of them don't qualify for the 5-star right now due to their underlying trend. However, stocks like United Healthcare, that was one of my major 5 stars last year. Is there a good stock screener you would recommend so I can study and learn before I jump in? $147 a month is a little steep for me, but I want to learn. Absolutely. So if you go to simplertrading.com/scanner, that is one of the primary methods that I use to identify trades. However, I do recommend that you learn how to actually trade the tickers that you find here without just, going into here and buying stuff when you're not exactly sure what you're doing. The best way is really just to do it right. Do you do spreads? Do you buy options? Do you ever sell options and try for theta? Yes, absolutely. I do. I trade a lot of spreads. So I have another 5-star part 2 class coming up that's going to be focusing on income trading with spreads. The last one that I did was based on aggressive long calls. So either one of, I mean, I do both. It just kind of depends on what I'm doing in my life. For example, if I'm traveling, I'll have more spreads on instead of aggressive calls. Stuff like that. It depends on the overall market condition. If the market is very solid and strong and trending higher, then I do more long calls. If it's more precarious, I do more spreads. But yes, I do all of that. Is the scanner included in the gold membership? The scanner is not included in the gold membership because folks wanted an option that they can just scan. So that is what we created to fill that void. However, my personal scanner that I use in Thinkorswim is included in my Ready Aim Freedom class. So if you have Thinkorswim, I have created some custom scanners in Thinkorswim that are included with that Ready Aim Freedom class. All right. Are there any other questions that I can answer for you? I really hope that this has been helpful. I mean, there's only so much that I can fit into an hour-long webinar. Normally I spend multiple hours per week in our trading room, and the classes are very, very intensive, 5, 6, 7, 8-hour classes. So did the best that I could to give as much to you as I could in this 1 hour that we had together. I do hope to see you in the trading room. If you have any remaining questions, feel free to email me at Danielle@simplertrading.com. And I'd be happy to fill in any of the blanks that you have. All right. Well, if that's it, then I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Thank you. I would love to head to Oahu. I hope that you have an excellent rest of your day and good trading.